And a happy Monday, everybody. It's Jim Rodriguez with another edition of Dodgers Latest. And we invite you to check in with us. You can hit me up on X and Instagram at JRodShow. And for the Dodgers, another week and another good weekend. They took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. I'll tell you that Friday night, Paul Skeens and Yamamoto. But the Dodgers bounced back. Teoscar Hernandez hit his 200th career home run. And what a weekend for Andy Pages. And I guess apologies are due. What a weekend indeed. Think about it. He had 10 hits this weekend in the 3-game series. He becomes the 13th Dodger in the history of the franchise. That's 123 years for Andy Pages to have 10 hits in a 3-game series. Freddie Freeman's the last guy to do it, but great on Andy Pages. He went 4 for 5 on Sunday, so he set a career high in hits in a game, had 4 runs batted in. That's also a career high for Andy, and he also hit his 5th home run of the year. To think about the kind of weekend he had 10 hits this weekend. He had 13 hits all year coming into that series with the Pirates. So if anybody is sad to see the Pirates leave Dodger Stadium, it's Andy Pages. And you know what? He's 24 years old. He got off to a miserable start, and you could clearly tell that his struggles in the plate or at the plate were affecting his base running and his fielding. Trying to figure out center field. I think he's turned the corner. You know, obviously you had James Outman with some pressure. Ha-Seong Kim, who the Dodgers acquired as a free agent, was playing, who's a second baseman. They had him playing in the outfield just in case, but it looks like Andy Pages has come into his own, and congratulations to him on a monster weekend against the Pirates. And for the Dodgers, maybe a little bit of a sigh of relief that Andy Pages is now back on the right track. Now, while the Dodgers get good news at the plate from Andy Pages, well, it looks like Tyler Glasnow is once again hurt. Man, he is just absolutely snake bit. He gave up back-to-back home runs on Sunday, got through the first inning against the Pirates, and just was not able to continue. Dodgers officially ruled it as shoulder discomfort. Now, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but he already missed a good chunk of the season last year. Wasn't part of the Dodgers playoff run with elbow tendonitis. This is a guy that the Dodgers signed to a 5-year, $136 million extension after trading for him from the Tampa Bay Rays, but he has just not been able to stay healthy. And you just, you light a candle, you pray for the best for Tyler Glasnow, because unfortunately, when it's a shoulder or it's a forearm, you hate to say those 2 words of Tommy John, but you're hoping that he will be okay. For Glasnow, now that is his second straight outing that he has had to leave early. Remember, in Texas, he had to leave because he was having leg cramps, and the Dodgers were absolutely terrified that would somehow affect his mechanics, affect his shoulders. Maybe it did. They ended up giving him an IV the night before the start against the Pirates to make sure he was hydrated, but he still has to come out with shoulder discomfort. And for the Dodgers, well, it looks like an IL stint is going to be necessary for Tyler Glasnow. Abundance of caution. And boy, between him and Blake Snell, because remember, Blake Snell had to be shut down because he also was feeling shoulder discomfort. Dodgers in a bit of a mess there. The good thing is, and we'll get into it in the preview, is that the Dodgers are actually getting an arm to come back. And that's because the Miami Marlins are in town to take on the Dodgers to wrap up this homestand. And we're going to see Tony Gonsolin pitch on Wednesday. And that's amazing news. Tony, who, of course, is coming off Tommy John surgery. The last time he pitched was against the Marlins, and that was in 2023 back in August. He has not pitched since August of 2023 against the Miami Marlins. Missed all of 24 with Tommy John surgery, so his return is great for the Dodgers. The series shapes up like this. Tonight, it's Edward Cabrera and his crazy ERA of 6.14. He will face Dustin May tonight. And, of course, May coming off his worst start of the season, might be his worst start of his career. 5 innings, 10 hits, 7 earned runs against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. So turn the page there. Get right back out of it against the Miami Marlins. Speaking of Tommy John, on Tuesday, best pitcher in baseball for a long time, Sandy Alcantara. He will go on the mound for the Marlins. Dodgers are TBD, and it looks like that's going to be a bullpen game, as the Dodgers won't have a true starter. They'll throw everybody out there, and then on Wednesday it'll be Cal Quantrill for the Marlins, and of course it's the return of Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers will have Thursday off. And in a really long road trip, they will head to Atlanta, they will head to Miami, and then they will head to Arizona. So they're going to get some home cooking. And then starting this weekend in Atlanta, Dodgers are going to be out for about a week and a half. Now, one of the craziest stories that I've ever heard. You do what you can, right, to sign a player. Well, the Dodgers, much was made this offseason how the remodeling of Dodger Stadium, maybe not in the parts that we as fans see, but in the clubhouse areas. State-of-the-art stuff. And Roki Sasaki, and I'm going to read this quote from the Orange County Register. They tried to, obviously the money and everything like that, but what may have put Roki over the top to signing with the Dodgers was the toilets. That's right. 8 state-of-the-art, multi-function, heated seat, bidet-equipped, Japanese-style toilets. The idea came from Sasaki, who was trying to decide where to sign this winter, and he told the Dodgers it would help persuade him to come their way with these new toilets. So listen, we've heard cars, we've heard all planes, suites, uniform numbers. All Sasaki wanted was a good place to do his business. I love it. Marlins in town tonight. Dodgers latest right here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Of course, you can hit me up on X and on Instagram at JRodShow. I'm Jim Rodriguez. As always, it's time for Dodger Baseball.